Ooh. Ooh. Yes, people. How are we all doing? Welcome all back to the channel for the Liverpool versus Fulham Carabao Cup preview. Massive game, arguably the biggest game of the season so far tonight. A semi-final first leg at Anfield, a chance to potentially kill a tie off before you end up playing the second leg. And with the injury situation we've got, with the squad depth we've got, it'd be ideal if you could kill the tie off sort of thing. But trophies are what matter. And the chance to get through to a final of a cup at this point in the season is always important. And we need to take this seriously. We need to be 100% on it today. 100% on it. And I mean, that's the hope in it. I think there's a lot riding on this game for us. I think there is. But if there's a team that's left in the competition that know how to do it, it's us. And we all, let's be honest, let's be real, people. We all watched yesterday's performance by a certain side from London against a certain side called Middlesbrough. And that gave me immense hope that this could be a very easy win for us. It really could be. You could argue that Fulham are the toughest side left in the competition and we've drawn them again. But all things considered, we should be able to get the job done over these two legs, but it's not going to be easy, especially with the situation in the squad at the minute. But before we get properly into this, people, if you're new and you're not already, make sure to hit that like button, you are hitting that subscribe button, and you are turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any more content. Let's get through some of these comments as well. Your lineup: Kelleher, Tom Little, Quanta, Van Dijk, Gomez, McAllister, Tom Little, Gravenberch, Elliott, Joseph Gakpo, bench at least 4, Tom Little. Oh, mate. Curtis Jones better start. I mean, I'll get onto my lineup. I'll get onto my lineup in a little bit. But it's a couple of interesting selection dilemmas to be made. Big was my guy, Yuvraj. Your lineup would be Kelleher, Bradley, Quanta, Van Dijk, Gomez, Maka, Jones, Gravenberch, Nunes, Jota, Diaz. I think we win 3-1, Nunes, Brace, and Jota. Do you think the Mbappe links are real and we're in the race for them? I think you're always going to be in the race, but I don't think we'll get much further in it. I hope we get a Middlesbrough final, but it'll be Chelsea. Don't rule out Michael Carrick. Don't rule out Michael Carrick. That's all I'll say. Big was my guy, DeAndre. Big was my guy, Tucker. Come on, LFC, I need this final. Big up was my guy, Gary Richards. Big was my guy, Freedom Journey. Big up was my guy, HM. Big up was my guy, Deontay. Big was my guy, Honesty. Big was my guy, Arib. Tom, I thought about yesterday, who will carry out attack next season if Salah drops off or gets sold. Gakpo and get and run of games. Nunes is shit, just injury prone. Diaz inconsistent. I'm worried. I think what you'll see is someone will step up. It's very hard to tell who will be the next player to step up when you're in a situation where you have a player as clear a number one option as Mohamed Salah. Someone will always step up, whether it's Jota or Diaz, or you bring someone in. Maybe the club could bring someone in, especially if Salah does go. So I think they'll always figure it out. But the Carabao Cup, you know what I wanted to do? And let's see if I've got it. I tried to create it earlier on YouTube, a little playlist of all our games so far this season in the Carabao Cup. Because this is something I don't really think people do, maybe because of copyright or anything, but fuck copyright. I get most of my money off super chats anyway, off support from you lovely people. My ad revenue is crap anyway. So what I want to do, if I can find it, Carabao Cup 23/24. Is that playlist there? Not the FA Cup. Not the FA Cup. Not the FA Cup. I don't want the extended highlights. No, we might do extended highlights, you know. I might have to do extended highlights. What kit have I got on? Bayern Munich from last year with Sadio Mane on the back. Unless you're doing Mbappe, somehow I don't see anyone stepping up. I think you'd be shocked. Big was my guy, Revanite. Starman in the 9 on the left flank. Depends who's up front. Or depends who else in that front line. If it's Gakpo, then Nunes up front. If it's Jota, then Nunes out left. Where is this playlist? I thought I'd made this playlist, but I quite clearly forgot to. So let me just quickly fire it up. in a separate sort of thing. That one. Then it was Bournemouth. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone. Yeah, that one. And then it is West Ham. West Ham. Let's see. My team selection: Ali VVD, Quanta, Bradley, Joey G, Mac 10, CJ Ryan, Elliot up top, Elliot, Jota Darwin, or up front, Diaz right wing, Gakpo on the wing, Josh up front, or Gakpo, Diaz, Elliot. Got a lot of options there. Maybe Gakpo is my personal favourite, Jota as well, but he'll get injured surely. I think yes and no. Yes and no. I do like Gakpo. I think there's a lot to come from. Would you start Gakpo today? We'll get on to that in a little bit. Confident tonight? 100% I am. 100% I am. Elliot's not the best option for Salah's replacement. Out and out on the right, I think he is. I know Diaz is a threat on the right, but I think out and out on the right he is. Tom, which player have I got on the back? You got a great history buying kits with bang average players. I'll turn around. My boy Sadio. The only Sadio kit I've actually ever owned. But yeah. Elliot right wing only makes a solid plays behind the interchange very well. FYI, Tom, love the barn at dear boy. I appreciate that, Gary. I appreciate that. We're working on something. We're working on something. It just needs a little bit more time to grow. Would you say kill the tie in this game? I hope so, but Fulham are a good side, so I doubt it, but I'd like us to do so. Did I watch Chelsea yesterday? I did, and that was very funny. That was very funny watching them struggle against Middlesbrough. This Diaz looked like the old Diaz the past couple of games. He's looked like there's elements of it, but I wouldn't say he's back to his very, very best. But let's see if I can that and then mute that because that's a well of copyright. This one. Pull it up to full screen. And then there we go. So I just want to go through the games that have got us to this stage so far, people. I just want to go through the games that have got us to this stage so far. If we look at it, if I do it like this, no, that's probably better. So, this was the first one, the Leicester game in the first round or the third round, whatever it is. And I remember watching this goal because this was another Simicast one. If we just go back here, this was when Simicast agenda was in full force. If we move back here, this is the part of Simicast that I don't really get. Like that side of his game needs to be sorted out. And I hope when he's back, he stopped sort of showing that side of his game at the end. I hope that sort of changes and remains the thing throughout. But we battered Leicester this game. After we conceded, we had so many chances. I mean, I don't get how Doak didn't score that one. And because Doak deserved a goal the way he played this season before the injury. Don't get how he didn't score there. Then off the line by Cody. You got to remember, whenever Connor Cody plays against us, he loves a goal. And then this is brilliant from Gakpo. Right in the corner. This is what Gakpo gives. That I don't think only Jota gives you. This clinical nature that he has. I don't see Nunez or Diaz finishing a chance like that. I really don't. That is a ridiculously good finish. Then again, off the bar, off the line, you thought it went in, it didn't go in, and then honestly, this just battered them. And then Soboslai. Oh my god! Look at the state of that goal, people. Because we timed this perfectly with the Hassam Reid. I know he's saying everyone, yeah. But everyone gets to appreciate this Dominic Soboslai absolute rocket, by the way, to get us through that round. And then, as per usual, people, when you get to the final goal, he had a bit of a stink of this game, I remember. He had a little bit of a stink of this game, Diogo. But, as is the usual thing, I mean, we get close here with Nunez. Yeah. But, as is the usual thing with Mr. Diogo Jota at this point in time, again, have we got another one? He's naughty, Soboslai. This is what I don't get, by the way. This is what I don't get. What people slagging off Soboslai and saying, he's been crap this season. McAllister's better, Endo's better. You know, he's not he's not our best sign of the season. For the first 2 months, we would not have been anywhere near as good as we were without Dominic Soboslai, by the way. He's a joke. Yes, he's had a bad last month, but he's an absolute joke of a footballer. How we didn't score more than 3 this game is beyond me. Genuinely beyond me. But this is the goal. Brilliant from Quansah. And then pulled across and just look at this. This is why I say he's the best finisher at the football club. This is why. He is by far the best finisher at the football club. Do you understand how audacious that is? Do you understand how audacious that is, people? That is a joke of a finish by Diogo. Quanta great work, but under pressure, little flick. Oh my god, that is ridiculous. And this is why in this period where you're without Mo Salah, you're not really going to create as many chances. You need players like Diogo Jota in that team. And then again, as always, whenever he plays against us, Connor Cody, every single time. But that was how we got through round 3. Moving on to round 4, tough draw away to Bournemouth. One of the tougher draws in that one, and on big time for us. Turned up big time for us. We just get to here, and again, we didn't really play well this game. If I remember rightly, this was probably the worst performance we've had in the Carabao Cup this season. A bit of a rotated side, but obviously, you had the likes of Salah in there. Soberslai started this one. You had Cody, you had Curtis. I think Joe Gomez was at right back. And again, it was just sort of struggling. Salah probably should have buried that one. Really good opportunity for Salah. This is the thing with Salah. What I will always say offside anyway, but I will always say this. I do believe Joshua a better finisher than Salah. I do. Wholeheartedly, I believe that. And again, down the right, pulled across, got to score that. This is just we are a quite wasteful team at times. Watching these highlights back just makes you realise how wasteful we are at times. But this is the first goal. Good strike, little flick, and then tapped home by Cody. Good instinct, that real good instinct to be in that position. Good strike. I think it comes off Quansah who nearly scores. But then the second half, we were just pelted by Bournemouth, who probably should have scored, especially this one. So Semenyo's had a good season, just drags it wide. We got away with one massively there. But these are the sort of things that you need when you go on cup runs. But this was the goal. Such poor defending. I know there was wind and this, that, and the other, but if you ever want to see my gripe with the way we defend, just look at the zonal marking here. Just look at the zonal marking right here, people. Why is he unmarked? We knew what they would do. Every single corner was ending up around this back post. Gomez had to clear one off the line already. Why is he unmarked? He's just... It's beyond me. And then Kelleher doesn't cover himself in glory as he hasn't been this season. But then Nunes does arguably the most Nunes thing you could ever imagine. Crap touch, getting the mick taken out on by the fans, decides to cut inside, wrap it top bins. He's the most confusing player we've got in the squad, Nunes, 100%. But if you can start showing that a little bit more consistently, then we're loving life, aren't we? We're loving life. And then the game that got us into this position, the game against West Ham, arguably our best performance of the season. Arguably. Starting off on the front foot, we were brilliant from minute 1 to minute 90, and then Soberslai was getting a bit of stick before the game, had a little bit of a dodgy start, and then just decides to smack one in the bottom corner, let everyone know that he's still here. I will say it again, Soberslai's been our sign of the season. I know he's had a bad last month by his standards, but you can't discount everything he's done up to this point. And then another little... Curtis, my boy Curtis, man. Naughty little finish from Curtis there. Absolutely naughty little finish. Great ball in behind. Good vision. If we just, again, people were saying it was lucky. He knows what he's doing there. The little glance back. He knows he's got to put it in the corner. Audacious again. Canate, of all people, ended up in a nice little spot. Lays it onto Gakpo. And again, the point I made earlier about Gakpo being the third best finish at the football club shows it again. He's got a naughty little long-range shot on him. I remember him scoring one against the Hammers last year at their home stadium in the league from a distance. He's got such good technique, Gakpo. We've got to try and get him into the side more, if you ask me. You've really got to try and get him involved a little bit more. Oh, really good goal there from Bowen. Really good. A little bit of luck there, but take nothing away from that finish. It's a lovely finish. And then Nunes, I think this one is the post, doesn't it? Yeah, and then Salah. Oh, oh. Again, this is just sums up Nunes, though. In the box, he's not really the greatest, but outside the box, he's a joke. And then this pass from Trent on the floor, inch perfect. We are going to miss Trent massively while he's out injured for the next 3 weeks. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100% real. We are going to miss him. But we can manage stuff like that, though. You're never going to be able to recreate that. With Salah, you can somewhat recreate it in aggregate. You can't recreate what Trent gives you. You've got no one else in the squad who can do that. And then the pick of the bunch in terms of the goals. Jones drives, head down, takes on 2, 3, bottom corner. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. Arguably this season, Jones, our most important midfielder in terms of how we set up and how we run it. Such an important profile to have to complement the players that we've got. And especially whilst you're without Szoboszlai and Endo, who have been the other two better performing midfielders, you need someone who does the basics right and who keeps the level high. That is what Curtis Jones does. That's what Curtis Jones brings to this team. So you very much can't afford to drop him out the side and take him out the side very often, because when you take him out, you can see that the pressing structure, the level of intensity in the midfield, it falls apart very, very quickly. But onto the game's day. Last time we played Fulham in the league, 4-3, one of the games of the season. It was a very interesting performance, should we say, when we played them earlier on. Very interesting performance. We just kept switching off. For whatever reason. And we can't afford to do that today. You can afford to do it in league games. Like, you can't... Look, you can't afford to do it non-stop. But if there's a game you can afford to do it in, it's the league, because you can make it up, later on down the line. We definitely can't afford to do it in the cup. 100% honestly, we can't afford to do it in the cup because there's no wiggle room in the cup. You fuck up in the cup, you're out. And with the way that this tournament and this draw is shaping up, you don't want to throw away what is a fantastic opportunity for the trophy. You really don't. And we've got to make sure we're 100% switched on. Got to make sure we are 100% switched on today. I know the squad isn't going to be the best in terms of full strength or anything. We're missing 10 players, a lot of them key players. But the team that we're going to put out should still be good enough to get the job done. 100% honestly, it should be good enough to get the job done. And you got to bear in mind as well, I can't remember the last semi-final Fulham were in. So for this Fulham squad, it's probably going to be a very new experience. Cup games at Anfield are normally very good atmospheres, very good games to go to. Hopefully that the fans are sort of imbued by what they saw yesterday with Middlesbrough and Chelsea, and really make it a hostile atmosphere for Fulham. And you could really get them. You could really get them if you nail all that sort of stuff. But there is the potential of complacency and switching off and not treating Fulham with the respect that they deserve. Even though we're better than them, they do deserve a lot of respect because they've been a good side this season and they've caused us problems. And I don't want us to look at it and sort of go, well, it's a cup game. We've been there, done it. Fulham haven't. It'll be fine for us. But as Aaron and many of you have been asking, what is my predicted starting 11? So, for me, my starting 11 today would be, if I can get this up, in goal, Mr. Queeving Kelleher. Let's get that other on there. Obviously, I would quite like Ali in there. Alisson's the better goalkeeper. Alisson's had the better season. Kelleher's had a pretty disappointing season by his standards. But we understand that Kelleher is the Carabao Cup keeper in the same way that Alisson is the FA Cup keeper. And if you want to keep players like Kelleher happy, they do need to play this game. So Kelleher will be in goal. Left back, this is where Joe Gomez is going to go. Number 2. Joe Gomez probably could do with a rest at some points. 100% could do with the rest at some points. But we also... I don't want to throw Owen back into this game, necessarily. Don't want to throw Owen back into this game. Bring off the bench, sure. If he wants to come off the bench, no problem with that. Give him a chance to get some minutes in the legs, etc. But I don't think this is the right game for Owen Beck to start. Left centre-back. Yeah, thank you. Left centre-back. Missed the game against Arsenal. He's got to come in today, considering that, the way I'd set up the rest of the back line. You do need a proper leader at the back, and that's going to be Virgil van Dijk for me. I know that Konate had a very good game against Arsenal, and he showed a side to his leadership that I don't think we've ever seen before from Ibu Konate. I didn't realise he had that level of leadership, but this is a game to get your captain back in. This is a game where I'm going to be playing a relatively young defence. I need someone who's experienced, who's been there, done it, got all the trophies, all the medals, sort of thing. And Virgil van Dijk is that. Next to him, can't remember his number. Yes, Mr. Jarell Quansah. I thought he had a good game against Arsenal. And I want to rest Ibu Konate for this one. If I've got to look at games that we got coming up as well. Even though I reckon Konate could get through a couple of games in a row, I'd like to avoid that risk if possible. So I'm eyeing up the second leg where we play Fulham away from home as the game for Konate. This game is a chance for Quansah. If you want to play Konate this game, that's fine. Me personally, I feel it's a better game for the Quansah. Less pressure, less expectation. I certainly want to play Quansah in the semi-final second leg at Craven Cottage, if you get me. And then at right back, Mr. 84, Conor Bradley, had a very good cameo when he came on against Arsenal. Dealt with Martinelli very well. He had a lot of support. Obviously, Konate was offering him support. Trent was offering him support. But Bradley done a lot of good work there. You got to remember, he was a very good player at Bolton last year. There has to be an element of trust in him. I know ideally we wouldn't want to do it. Ideally, you don't play Bradley. You have a more senior, more experienced defender in there, but it's the situation we're in. It is the situation we're in. And if he can carry that form over, if Bradley can carry that form over from the FA Cup game into this one, and mainly from the second half of the USG game, I thought in the second half of the USG game he was quite good. So if we can carry that form over that he's just been building up a little bit recently, I think he'll have a very good game today. In a DM, there's got to be Mr. Alexis McAllister. Now, is that his best role? No. Ideally, you can start playing him further up the pitch a bit later on down the line, but right now, no Endo, no Bajcetic, no Thiago. Mac has got to do a job there. And we're going to need good performances from him. And he was starting to really come into his own just before the injury. But obviously came back. I thought he struggled a little bit against Arsenal, mainly because of just how high that press is. I'm hoping this game's a real bounce back game for him. On the left, central midfield, I'm going to go Ryan Gravenberch. I said all that stuff about Jones earlier, and I do still stand by it. But Curtis Jones played a lot of football recently. Curtis Jones has in the past had injury problems. And you do sort of, even though I don't believe that you need to manage minutes as extensively as other people suggest, you do need to sort of look after them here and there. So Curtis Jones coming off the bench is a fantastic substitute to have. I thought Gravenberch had a very good cameo against Arsenal and probably does deserve a start in this game. And at right central midfield, 19, Mr. Harvey Elliott. Now, Harvey struggled a little bit at the Emirates, but I feel that was because of Gakpo being right central midfield, then Elliott at right wing, and then, you know, it was a bit sort of a jumbled sort of thing, and the way we were attacking didn't really fit the way Elliott likes to build up. Elliott is a player that wants to get the ball to feet, pass, move, dictate a little bit of everything. He's not an in behind winger. He's not a player who likes to play off the back line. He's a player who likes to receive the ball to feet, drive into the middle using his skill and creativity. That's what you need in that right central midfield spot today. You can almost end up forming something like this. And I'm doing this. If I wanted to be a little bit more defensive, so let's say the first leg was at Craven Cottage, Elliott would be on the right wing and Jones would be there. But we're at home. We ideally want to kill a tie in the first leg. I'm going very attacking. So Elliott starts there. And then on the right wing, I'm going to go for Luis Diaz. Very good performance against Arsenal when he moved on to the right. On the left, he didn't really get involved. On the right, he was very good. And I can't remember who said it. I read it on Twitter today, and they made a very, very good point. Luis Diaz is a player who likes to, when he's on the left, receive the ball, go around and end up there. When he was on the right, he was very much just sort of being as direct at getting into the box as possible. Whereas when he's there, he likes to come back and play passes, and then, but when he's on the right, it's just bam, 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 bam. And when you're lacking Mo Salah is a very direct player. When you're lacking that direct nature, you need someone to provide it. And Diaz can give you that. And it's an interesting thing that maybe this could be a thing for Diaz's career at Liverpool. Maybe when Salah's back, you see Diaz in the middle as a striker a little bit more. Because when he's in the middle, he's a little bit more direct going there. I feel like when he's out on the left, he's a bit more dropping in. And then you end up with situations where like these two end up in each other's way. So I quite like Diaz on the right based on that performance against Arsenal. Up top, I'm going to go for Darwin Núñez. I'm going to go for Núñez. And that is because I'm not starting Diogo Jota yet. I'm not. It was a long injury layoff. It was. And if I like many people have noticed in the comments, he is a little bit injury prone, Diogo Jota. So if I can avoid a needless injury, I'll avoid the needless injury. And because I want to go with Gakpo on the left, that Núñez has to go up front to give me them runs in behind. Whereas if I go Gakpo, I feel like you end up with a situation where, where's the square? That's not it. Where's the square? This area of the pitch here will often just end up being overcrowded because Elliott will try and be there. Gravenberch will be there because Gravenberch likes to, tuck inside. What? No, thank you. And then McAllister's a very attack-minded player, so he'll often end up there. Núñez will be a bit isolated. Diaz would be very much trying to come in, so there'll be a lot of emphasis on Bradley. So I feel that when Gakpo is playing, Gakpo has to be on the left if you're starting Núñez. Now, if I was starting Jota, I'll put Gakpo in the middle. But based on what I've seen this season, and this has come from someone who likes Gakpo as a false nine and would do it if the full team was available, I still stand by our best front three being Salah on the right, Gakpo in the middle, Jota on the left. That is our 100% best front three. But when I have to play a situation like Núñez, Diaz, and Gakpo is better out wide in this sort of situation, I believe. I think he's better out wide. If you want to go for something like this, I could see it. But me personally, I'm going to go for this. And if you got, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something just a little bit different today. It's been a preview of a bit different proportions. In the chat, I've just posted the link to the stream. If anyone wants to come on, if anyone wants to come on and debate the starting 11 with me and debate positions or debate tactics for the next 15, 20 minutes, go for it. Be my guest. You can throw me your starting 11. You can throw me what you change. Maybe you'd want to go for something along the lines of a double pivot with Elliott and then Nunes and then Gakpo. Maybe you're someone who'd want to see Diogo Jota in the starting lineup. Maybe you're someone who'd want to see Owen Beck. Maybe you're someone who want to see Kanate. Come in. Let's debate. Let's have reasons. Let's have a good chat. We'll do all this and we'll figure it out together because this is what it's about. This is what it's about today. There's not really much talking on the game I can do. So we're going to bring you on one by one. If you want to hop on, the link is there. I don't know how to pin it. So we're just going to hope that you see it. Come on. One-on-one. Debate, talk. And we'll see what your starting 11's like compared to mine. But my starting 11 is this. And the first person, let me get these headphones on so I can listen to you lovely people. The first person coming on is the boy. Let me just move them two around. Is the boy, the man, the myth, the legend, the man with the best facial hair on all of Liverpool YouTube, Mr. Mike Das. How are you, my friend?
What's good? Wait, hold on. It's this is your starting 11, right?
This is what I would start today. This is what I'd start today.
Okay. I don't know how much. I don't know what Darwin needs to do further on the left wing to prove to you that he's better on the left wing than he is down the middle. Like, if you want a repeat of the first half against Arsenal and you want us to produce nothing in the final third, and if you want to just play long balls to Darwin, which we all know he's not a back to goal kind of 9, then we're just like, that's what we're going to get. We're going to have to rely on a moment of brilliance between Diaz or Gakpo. Darwin has to be on the left. And I don't see like any scenario in the future where Darwin is playing in the middle. And if anything, where I disagree with you is I think that rather than running a traditional 4-3-3, what would be better in my mind, again, I don't get paid millions of dollars, but if Darwin were on the left and Diaz were on the right, but they weren't playing as wingers, right? It's left and right striker.
It was almost something like this. So you'd form a diamond midfield.
100%. So Nunes and Diaz would be occupying the corners of the box, essentially, allowing them to run inside, where Gakpo is sort of playing
in build-up, you'd want something along the lines of this.
Exactly.
So exactly. Would be there, Elliott in that half space,
and then McAllister sitting deep. Because
would you want Bradley inverting, or would you want Bradley bombing down the wings?
I haven't seen too much of Bradley. You know, he came in and he did a shift against Arsenal, but his shift was defensive. I think Joe would be the better option there. In terms of
you'd almost end up doing something like this. So Joe would come in, you'd have Van Dijk and Quansah there, and then Bradley as an attacking fullback would be around that sort of spot.
Kinda.
Maybe a little bit more defensively minded because of the position of Elliott and Diaz. Probably about there, putting some crosses.
Yeah. So the big thing with me, right, is that whenever you look at Nunes on the left wing, whoever's in striker, they're rotating, right? Like, that's the thing that I've noticed about Darwin. It's that he doesn't stick as a left winger. Like, yes, he provides the outlet down the left side, but you know, when him and Gakpo are playing those two positions, they're always interswitching, right? Luis Diaz likes to stay on one side of the field. I'm happy with that, right? We need someone on the right side. I don't want Harvey Elliott starting as the right wing today. But if Darwin and Gakpo are interchanging the whole time and Gravenberch is just a little bit tentative, he's not bombing it forward, or Elliott, right? Either one of them, right? As long as there's someone back to cover the space, I think that's our best attacking look without Mo Salah in the team. And honestly, even if you took out Gakpo and you put in Jota and you just had Jota and Nunes switching, I understand what you're saying about the whole, you know, injury proneness. I don't think that Jota should be starting. I don't think he has to be starting. But I think that against Burnley, that's what the look was. It was this like interchanging between Gakpo and Nunes going back and forth, and we should have had 4 goals, right? And Burnley, listen, they're not like Fulham are a good team. They just beat Arsenal. They scored 3 against us at Anfield. But I think that that's our best possible option that we have right now with the players that we have. And you know, I'm okay with Van Dijk and Quansah as our back two. I'm okay with Joe Gomez and Connor Bradley kind of, you know, switching back and forth between who's going to be the attacker, who's going to be the defender. But I think that this just provides the most balance. And if anything, you know, McAllister can just sit deeper because he's been fantastic when he's been sitting deeper. So he doesn't even have to bomb it forward. I just think that that's our most
So,
dynamic
so, so
possible
you,
look.
you'd stick with the same sort of starting 11, but you just change a
Yeah.
couple of
Yes.
positions around in the
Yeah.
system. So it'd be obviously Kelleher, you'd have Bradley, you'd have Quansah, you'd have Van Dijk, you'd have Gomez, you'd have Maka, you'd stick with Gravenberch and Elias as the
Yep.
midfield
Yep.
pairing, and then you'd have Gakpo as the tip of the diamond
Yep.
with Diaz and Nunes sort of thing.
E exactly, and all 3 of them are just interchanging whenever they seem fit. Gakpo can go on the
A very
right and
sort of
play.
fluid system then. A very fluid system
Yes.
sort of thing.
Which is what I think works best when we don't have the single outlet, right? Like, we don't have Trent right now, so Trent's not gonna invert and become the captain of the midfield. We don't have Mo right now, so we're not gonna look towards one player to drive all of our creativity in the final third. So you have to be more fluid and more free flowing, and I think that in terms of personnel, there aren't any other options. Like, the only other option
Yeah.
is Curtis Jones. Like, putting
Mhm.
Curtis Jones in there for Gravenberch or Elliott. Um, and maybe, putting Curtis Jones as the sort of 6 and then making McAllister the other 8, right? Almost like a double pivot even, if you really wanted to, where Gravenberch is playing almost like a 10 and you have Curtis Jones and McAllister. But I don't think that we don't have the luxury of choice right now, which is fine. But this is a very pivotal game. Like, we need to win this game 3-0. Like, we need to just
Mhm.
end this tonight so that next game it doesn't matter who we have. It's just going to be business as usual at Craven Cottage. But I think that this is our most dynamic possible team that we could put out. And even if Salah were here, I would still say, you know, do this sort of formation with Mo on the right and Nunes on the left, and just let Gakpo and Nunes free flow in and out in between. Because I think that that's our best looking attack. If Nunes is going to play, if Nunes wasn't playing and Jota were in, I think that it would be a completely different scenario. But Darwin is a left winger. I don't need to see anything more. He's not a back to goal 9. He's not a false 9, and he's not a target man because we don't play that way. We don't cross into
Mhm.
the box, and we don't use him for hold up play. So if you're going to use him for his strength, stick him on the wing and let him run into space and let him cut inside and let him free flow with Gakpo.
Okay. I get that. I hear that. So, people, that's my 11 on this side. That's Mike's 11 on the right. Poll us up in the comments. Which 11 do you prefer? You got a fantastic tactical breakdown from Mike, much better than I could do with my one. My one's just sort of do it, Liverpool, sort of manage, do your thing. So, poll is there. Lovely to speak to you again, Mike. I will be doing. I'll be doing a match reaction tonight. If you're about, DM me, and we'll get it on the match reaction. We can talk, see if you were right all along or if I was right. Because I think the lineup is going to be something along the lines of my one. Unfortunately, even though I do
Yeah.
kind of agree with you on the Nunes Gakpo thing and putting Nunes as a left winger, I just feel that when you don't have Diogo Jota up front, you need a bit more of a physical presence up there. And Gakpo's, for someone who's as tall as he is, doesn't like getting involved in the physicality side of things.
The only thing that I'm going to say is that on paper, I agree with you. I think that it's very likely what we're going to see is your on paper on the team sheet, your lineup is more likely what we're going to see. But honestly, I don't see how Jurgen Klopp isn't going to start Curtis Jones considering the form that he's in. I don't think he's not going to start him. I think that it's probably going to be Mac, Elliott, and Jones, considering how poor Gravenberch has been lately. And just
Yeah.
kind of like knowing the kind of guy that Klopp is. But if we see this lineup, I would not be surprised if still during the actual game you saw Nunes on the
You see a
left.
switch
Might
to something.
yeah, exactly. Like if it's on paper like this, that's fine. But I still think that Nunes and Gakpo are going to be going um, intertwining in between each other. Dexter, I don't change my mind. I didn't change my mind a single time there. Not a single time during this have I changed my mind. I'm just explaining that realistically, Tom has the Jurgen Klopp lineup, but I still think that the way that they're going to play is going to be with Nunes more on the left and Gakpo kind of intertwining between them. I'm not consistent
Fair
with my
enough.
selection. This is ridiculousness. I came in and I said one selection. No, I didn't go back. I just said that Tom's is the one that's more likely to be realistic. Mine is the better one because I made it, and it's that simple. Like this
Well,
is ridiculous.
you've heard it here, people. Mike
But
Das is
anyway,
a better tactician than Jurgen Klopp,
hey, listen,
and
dude,
Mike Das has won the poll. He's won the
Give me
poll
the money.
68% to 32. So
That's all right.
the people want to see your system more than the system I think we're going to play, Mike. So you might be onto something. Next
All
Liverpool
right.
manager, maybe. But
Take
good
care,
chatting
Tom.
to you, mate. And like I said, if you're around for the reaction later on tonight,
We'll
just
do.
let me know. Thank you very much, Mike. Next up, people, the man who makes some of the greatest YouTube thumbnails of all time. Likes to take the piss out of us, Sam. It's the boy, Velv. Good to see you, mate. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. So you've seen my lineup. You've seen Mike's. What is your lineup for today going to be?
I'm just double checking you guys' lineup. Here's the thing with the back line, yeah, because I like Bradley, but I just feel at the same time it's just the perfect game to chuck in because he hasn't played much football. He's been out injured. He played in the Europa. He was meh. Against Arsenal, he was very good when he came on. I'm just thinking, would you just speed the game and then because the solution.
So what would you do instead then? Because we don't exactly have a lot of big options for it. Would you go Gomez at right back and then Owen Beck at left back? Or would you go for something that I saw someone do on Twitter the other day, which was something along the lines of let's see if I can actually spell his name right again. Quonset and Gomez at fullbacks. So very much sort of like this. And then Ibu and Van Dijk. What are you suggesting with the back line?
I'm basically going for what Klopp did earlier this season against Leicester. Jones inverted right back.
So you're going for Jones as an inverted right back and Gomez at left back with Quonset and Van Dijk.
Quonset, Van Dijk, Konate, Van Dijk, I don't mind because they're all quality centre backs. So either one of those guys, I'm just happy to.
So then you're going to stick with that. You're going to stick with that midfield then because there is no other options.
Yeah, because there's no one else to be honest.
And then you're fine with the front three of Diaz, Nunes, Gakpo, or would you be someone who wants to include Diogo Jota in there?
The thing is, Nunes is pissing me off the past few weeks, to be honest. I just get very frustrated with that guy in it, but I feel like because Jota's just coming back from injury, and for me, based on this season, he looks better as an impact sub rather than a star. I'll go with the front three of that. But who did you put for Gakpo, Nunes? Yeah, that's basically my front three. Your one, basically.
Would you be someone who does what Mike done, which is Gakpo as the 9/10 and Nunes on the left, or me where I went Nunes up front and Gakpo on the left?
I don't think it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters if Nunes is striker or left wing because I feel like both him and Gakpo will just swap each other during the game. Now you sometimes see Nunes on the left, Gakpo central, Gakpo on the left, Nunes. But I said Nunes central again. Nunes on the left, Gakpo central, Gakpo on the left, Nunes central. That's what you see like during the game. They'll probably swap with each other, and I feel like that's their strongest weapon when they're both interchangeable with each other. Was the problem with defense? But the that's lacking is the only thing that's lacking is Nunes' IQ. Yeah.
I get that. I get that. So your lineup is something along the lines of this. Only the one change from mine, but it's a big one in terms of having Curtis Jones invert into the defence, and then I'm assuming you'd ideally want something along the lines of that, but it'll often end up with Gomez pushing up a little bit more, and then leaving Quonset and Van Dijk tucking in. The poll is up, people. The poll is up. Whose team is better, mine or Velv? So go vote on that real quick whilst we figure out the situation around Bradley and Beck. What game are you looking at as being the ones who give them the opportunity in? Because they are going to need to eventually play to get us through this period of time. What game are you going? Bournemouth in the league? Are you going for the second leg if we've killed this one off in the first leg, maybe? Or are you going right at the end for the cup game where you play Norwich?
For me, second leg when if we kill these lot.
So second leg, kill them off. But if you don't kill them off, you go sort of the same thing.
Yeah, unless there's like another injury, God forbid that happens, then you just play them in the second leg. And you could play them against Norwich or whoever facing in the FA Cup. Just play the kid.
Okay,
Because
I like that. I like that.
I don't think Bradley's match fit to play in these sort of circumstances where Fred's injured, he just basically had to cover. He hasn't got like a proper full 90 under his belt since coming back from injury. I've seen your football, so it'll be a massive risk. I won't be surprised if he does start if you only fully trust him. But for me, I just want to beat these lot with a strong team. And then when we're like 3-0 up, 4-0 up, whatever the score, I just bring the youngsters on to see out the game and then play them in the second leg.
Okay, I get that. I get that. Well, Velv, your lineup versus my lineup. My one got the vote. I assume people aren't as big a fan as Curtis Jones as an inverted fullback as me and you
Yeah,
potentially are, because I
I
remember
I
him doing
know,
it against Leicester, and he was very good in that role.
I know where these men live anyway, so you might better put my name in the player find you.
Good chat though, Vel. Good to have you on, mate. Good, keep putting up those boss thumbnails as well. Every Kiss Tom, I need to see a Curtis Jones in that thumbnail in any shape, way, or form. Good chatting
Yeah,
though,
I
as
tried
well,
to.
mate. Good chatting.
Yeah, love, big up, man.
Big ups my guy, Vel. Big ups my guy, Vel. Best thumbnail creator on YouTube. Next one up, a big fan of the show. I see him in the comments of my stream. See him in the comments of Sam's stream. It's the boy T1 Dots. How are you, my friend? How are you?
Hello. How are we doing, Tom? How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. So you've seen the lineups. You've seen mine. You've seen Mike's, and you've seen Vel's.
Yeah.
What's your lineup for today?
So, me personally, I think I kind of base my lineups kind of what I think Klopp will do, and I think his subs against Arsenal kind of showed potentially what he could do. So I feel like, although I think Jones is getting a bit overplayed, I don't want him to. I think he might start and I think Maka will start as well. And I think I just have this feeling that Jota may start today because, I mean, we're talking about the same manager who went against medical advice and put Jota in the team for Burnley. So who knows? He might. I have a feeling he might start Jota, and because I've realised sometimes when Nunes plays a full 90 minutes, he's usually on the bench for the next game.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling he could go Diaz on the right wing. I feel like he could go Gakpo and Jota kind of interchanging between them.
Yeah. So it'll probably line up sort of like this, but them two, because they've played
Yeah,
positions, they can rotate between each other.
yeah.
Midfield wise, you said you'd start Curtis Jones over Elliot or Gravenberch.
So I think Gravenberg, I think he gave us a good cameo against Arsenal, especially in terms of his defensive abilities. I mean, the one where he just stuck his leg out in front of Saka's stopped counter attack. I thought that was brilliant in my opinion. So I'd start Gravenberg. I think Elliot and Jones is kind of a toss up between. I think Elliot's played a lot of football and he's going to continue to play a lot of football. So I think we'd play Harvey Elliott. I think he is ready for this fixture, and especially the fact that we're at home as well. I think we'd be pressing very, very high just to catch out Fulham, kind of get them trapped in their own minds of that with the atmosphere and stuff like that. So I can't. I'm 50-50 on the midfield. It's kind of 50-50 between Jones and Elliott. So yeah.
I hear that. I hear that. I can see both sides of things. I'd just be, if Gravenberch is starting, it would be Jones on the left more so,
Yeah,
and then you give Gravenberch that little bit more of a free role.
yeah.
Are you someone who wants to see Conor Bradley at right back or Owen Beck at
Oh,
left back?
100%, 100%. Martinelli, one of the most overrated left wingers in the Premier League. I'm so glad Bradley locked him up. Bakayo
He was
Saka as
Barker,
well.
and he.
It was so lovely seeing Conor Bradley just putting Martinelli in his place. It was beautiful to see. Because I can't lie, Trent was getting skinned, and then Conor Bradley came in, and it all just stopped. So, Bradley's showing promising potential, and the same with Joe Kwanzaa as well. That I'm a big fan of Kwanzaa. I'd love to see him and Van Dijk start together. Even though Ibu is one of my favorite centre backs.
So this is your lineup. Oh, I think it's two changes compared to mine. You got Joss in
Yeah,
there, Curtis Jones at left
yeah,
centre mid. Even though I'm the Curtis Jones guy,
yeah.
I do think this is a game that you could do with the rest in. Let's set up the poll real quick though, and whilst you walk me through it, what do you reckon the game will play like today? Do you reckon it'll be just an absolute whitewash, or is it going to be another tense game like the 4-3-1 where we need the moments of magic from someone to get us through it?
I feel like this game it either goes like the West Ham game, like a 3-0, 4-0, or it's going to be like a 1-0 to us. Because we're not going to do a Chelsea last night. That's not going to happen. I think our team is good enough to win with a few rotations in there to let a couple players rest. So my prediction would probably be 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool. I'd love that. You'd have a lot of freedom then to potentially sort of rest players for the second leg in a period of time where there's a lot of games coming up. So I'd definitely take a 3-1. And the last thing I'll ask you, Kelleher. Bit of a debate in the fan base because of the whole, he hasn't really had the best season so far.
Yeah.
Would you, if you were the manager at this point in time, even though there's been a precedent sort of set about Kelleher is the Carabao Cup keeper and Alisson is the cup keeper,
yeah,
would you go against the grain because it's a semi-final and the squad's a little bit depleted, or would you stick by Kelleher and give him a show of faith?
So, I mean, let's be honest, right? If we was to get rid of Kelleher, we've got Adrian, and Adrian, he's caused us some, let's just say, very traumatizing times. I mean, Atletico Madrid, just to name one, we could have won the Champions League that season. So we don't want him to play. So I'd stick by Kelleher, and the way you stick by Kelleher is, and the way you get Kelleher to stay is by playing him in these games like the Carabao Cup games to kind of get his morale up in a way. So I'd 100% stick by Kelleher. But let's just say if things do go left and it is, let's say 2-1, 3-1 Fulham by full time, you definitely start Alisson for the second leg just to kind of make sure none of the silly business happens in the second leg.
I hear that. Well, thank you very much, T1 Dots. The poll is up at the minute, and surprisingly, my one, I quite like your side. I think your side's a very good side, but I've got the vote on this one just ever so slightly. Yeah. So Mike's weird 4-1-2-1-2 diamond, which I thought would be the most, difference, is the only one that's apparently got the vote so far. But I rate your team. I rate all the stuff you said, and I like the shape of that midfield potentially. I didn't really think about it, but the more I think about it, a Jones, Gravenberch, McAllister midfield, the ball retention there would be ridiculous. But I appreciate you coming on, mate. Thank you for all the support you always show on the channel and in the chat. It is very much appreciated. Anytime there's a link put in the chat, make sure you hop on. We'll hash it out again because you've got a little bit of a football brain on you. I very much like that. But thank you very much for coming on, mate.
No worries, right? See you in a bit. I'll see you in the chat.
In a bit, lad. Now, before I bring on the final person, we have a super chat from my guy, Kenneth Dzengidze. I apologise if I butchered your name, mate, but you look very suave in that suit. Tom Little playing right back, love it. I have faith you'll never walk alone. Oh, you know what? If Conor Bradley has a blinder, I don't know what the match action is going to be like. I think it's just going to be everyone sort of... it's going to be a mad sort of evening if Conor Bradley has an absolute blinder. But I want to bring up a point just before I bring on the last person. Dexter makes a good point. Tom, I don't think Quansett and Bradley will start together. It's too much inexperience. And I actually do understand that point and that concern a little bit. I do understand that point and that concern. If I look at it, we've never really played a situation where you have the two kids on the same side. I think in the previous round, there was a debate about doing it and we didn't go for it. We played a bit more of an experienced player in there because of that, we don't really want to play too many youngsters at the same point. I think the only difference now is you've not really got much wiggle room for it in terms of I can throw in a Matip or I can throw in a Gomez sort of thing. I think you just sort of got to go with this setup. But I could, if he doesn't play Quanston and Bradley together, I get it. And that's a very good point raised by Dexter there. And Charlie, the link has been in the chat twice. I'm more than happy for you to come on. I'll put it in one last time in case any people have missed the link so far and want to come on. Get on. We'll hash it out a little bit for 5-10 minutes. But the final person coming on is arguably one of the biggest fans of this stream. He's in the comments every single time. He's in the comments before the stream starts, giving me a bunch of stuff to talk about early on. It's the boy of Raj. Yeah. How are you doing, my friend? It's good to speak to you.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I am very, very good at the minute. So, you've seen the lineup so far from me, from Mike, from Velv, from T1. What is your lineup?
I'll go different in goal. I'll start Alisson because I don't want to play Konate because I know once if he goes down, I think every fan gets worried because we all know. So I don't want to play him because I think he's played 3 games in a row, 90 minutes, and if he gets injured, and I don't trust Konate with fitness, so I'm playing Kwanzaa. I'm sticking with the back four. I'm happy with the back four.
So
I'm
Bradley,
resting.
Quansah, Van Dijk,
Yeah.
Gomez.
Yes. I'm not playing Jones. I'm gonna play Graham Birch on the left and Ellie on the right. I think Jones needs a rest because he's been playing so much now. I think we need to rest him. The front three, I'll start Joe. I know to be fair, he is injury prone, and there's still a bit of worry he's injured, but I wouldn't play him all game. I wouldn't play him the whole 90 minutes. I'm willing. So Darwin on the left, Joe on the in the center forward, and Diaz on the right. I'll stick with that. So because I wouldn't play Joe all 90 minutes. I'd bring him off at least the 60th minute because I don't think he's fully fit, but I think you can play him around 60 minutes and then bring him off. So because I want to try and seal this game in the first 60 minutes, or at least get a good lead by then, or even the whole game. So for me, I'm starting Jota just because we're gonna need to somehow. I don't trust Nunes in front of goal. I trust Gakpo and Jota, but I'd rather Gakpo just so Jota because Jota is probably our best finisher at the club. So that's my lineup.
Okay. It's an interesting lineup that. So you're very much going against the grain and going for Alisson in goal.
Yeah. Just for the experience. I don't trust.
Mhm.
I trust Quansah and Bradley, but it's just like it's a big semi-final and Fulham will be up for it. So I'm willing. I'm just. I'll start clearing the FA Cup, but not this. This is a big game for us.
I mean, Kelleher has played a fair few games. I remember he played both legs against Arsenal in the semi-final last time we got to the final. I understand he's not played very well this season, but do you not think that could be a real sort of damaging thing for Kelleher personally? You know, there will have been a promise being made that he is the Carabao Cup keeper, and then to take him out the lineup at the biggest stage so far, do you not think that'd be a bit of a blow for him?
The thing is, right, I'm just worried about that. If you start Kelleher, there's a lack of experience in that back four, except Van Dijk, Gomez, and Van Dijk. You have one side full of Quansah and Bradley, who, for me, have had games, but not this semi-final, not a massive. So, unless you want to play Konate, which I don't want him because I want to rest him, I don't want him injured. So, and plus we're low on centre backs right now in terms of depth because we need to keep him fit. So. Also, I'm in the FA Cup, but not this because it's a massive game. And if it was away, if it was it's at home as well. So I mean, look, if we get a good lead in this first leg, I'll play Kelleher second leg if we're gonna get a good lead. But if we don't get a good lead, start Alisson second leg as well. But I'm not starting Kelleher because I think I'm worried about Kelleher a bit because I think it's just if you're in Kelleher's mindset, right? If you have a good game, you're not playing the next game week. That's his mindset. I understand it because you're not gonna play no matter the performance you give. You're not gonna play on over Alisson. Like no one's gonna play over Alisson, even if you have a masterclass. You're not. So I understand his mindset, but still, we should be doing better. I mean, and that's why I'm not starting him, just because I'm a bit concerned. But I can't blame him a bit because no matter what he does, he's not gonna start with Alisson. Simple as. It's just not.
Okay, and then. The last point you mentioned the inexperience in the back line with Bradley and then Quansah together on the same side. Yeah. Would you then not suggest putting Konate because you had a break coming up? If you're concerned about the inexperience in the back line, would Konate not be someone who you'd put in and go, he gets through this game, then he's got 10 days off. I don't need to worry about an injury then.
But
is this sort of a reward for Quansah for how well he's played that you're playing him in such a big game?
I think Quansah deserves to start. He deserves. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant investor. He was brilliant investor. I don't a few shaky, but that's what every youngster like Quansah. He's gonna have shaky moments, and what people need to realize, he's gonna make mistakes. He's young. Okay, I'm not gonna. If he makes a mistake, I won't give up on him because it's just like he's still young. He's still learning, and I think Quansah with Van Dijk there, he's much more safe. Because Van Dijk's a leader. We've seen it, of course, this season. So I'm willing to trust Quansah with Van Dijk. With Konate, obviously, we saw it versus Arsenal. It kind of worked, but in that first half, I saw a bit of... second half, Konate did well in the leadership-wise, but first half, there was a bit of signs without them too. Just a bit of concern there. With Van Dijk there, I trust Quansah. I trust Quansah with Van Dijk. Those two are really good together.
Okay. Well, the poll has been up. And as it stands, it'll run for a couple more minutes, but You've won. You are winning as it stands, 60% to 40%. I think a lot of people are on board with the Alisson idea. If it was me picking the team, I'd probably go for Alisson. But just based on how I think it's going to shape up, I think it will probably be Kelleher. But I hear your ideas, and I do agree. Quanta probably does deserve to start, and the attacking line of Diaz, Jota, Nunes, that is the one that performed best against Arsenal. The one that ended the game against Arsenal. So I can understand them points. But that was a good shout, Yuvraj. I liked a lot of the points you were making. I appreciate you hopping on. I appreciate the support as always, and I will catch you in a bit, mate.
Yep. I'll be in the comments. Big up.
Cheers, Yuvraj, mate. Now, next up is a man who is currently doing a lovely little painting. Absolutely lovely little painting at the minute. I'm watching some lovely work get done there. Absolutely sensational. I could not do anything like that. He's been in the comments a lot. He's asked me a lot of wonderful questions the last couple of days, some of which I have had very little answers for because of how good they've been. It is the man, Charlie Jones. How are you, my friend?
Very good, very good. I'm. First of all, I want to say congrats to Tom. He's always like on other people's streams, and he's basically the guy with the knowledge. So it's about time you're doing more videos, man.
I appreciate that, Charlie. I appreciate that. And I wish I had your art skill. Honestly, that looks immense. I'm a stickman level drawer. But the game today, Fulham, first leg of the semi-final. You've seen the lineup so far. You've heard the lineup so far. What would you go for?
Okay, I'd put Alisson in goal because with all the injuries, we need some experience. If Kelleher takes that badly, I don't think he will take it badly, to be honest. I think they're a team squad, and it's obvious why Alisson is going in. So I put Alisson in. Kelleher, Alisson will get us through to the final. Kelleher plays the final when everyone's back. Everyone's happy. And then I'd definitely play that new lad, Conor Bradley, on the right. I think he's brilliant. If he struggles, it's okay. We have a rethink. And then the middle, we've got Van Dijk, obviously, with Quansah, because we don't want Konate getting another injury. And then Gomez, who's just, wow.
He's been brilliant last couple of games, hasn't he? At left back, he's been absolutely brilliant.
This season is amazing, mate. Amazing. So I'd put Gomez in. And yeah, if anyone, I think Bradley is going to stay wide. I think if anyone's going to sort of drift inside at all in the mid, like from defense into midfield, it's going to be Gomez. But yeah, keep Bradley out wide. Let him, this is his stage. I think he's going to be a player for the future. And then midfield, I'm going for Harvey Elliott on the right, Maka in the middle. Hopefully he won't get any injuries. And then on the left, Mr. Curtis, the artist, the new guy.
Curtis over Gravenberch.
You've got Gravenberch on. No, I think start with Curtis, bring Gravenberch on at 55 minutes. I wouldn't even bother leaving it too late because he can do stuff. He needs a bit more time though. So I'd bring Gravenberch on at 55 minutes.
He seems to perform better coming off the bench as well, hasn't he, Gravenberch? Having cameos where he's got a little bit more energy about him. I can hear the logic in that. And then your front three. Are you someone who's going to stick with Diaz on the right, Jota and Nunes?
Front three, I like Diaz on the right. But again, they're just going to switch. But I'd definitely start off with Diaz on the right just to scare them. Because he's also going to have that brilliant left back to deal with in Fulham, who I think if Liverpool are going to get the checkbook out, he's well worth thinking about that left back.
And Anthony Robinson, he's impressed me a lot this season. He's been very good at points
in
this
fact,
season, I agree.
Some of Fulham's, I don't think we should underestimate Fulham. I think they're a brilliant side. I think Palinha, the left back, and the Obe, I can't remember. He's gone to the Africa's Cup, but he's like a right-sided midfielder, I think. Or right.
Alex Iwobi.
Those three players for me are definitely signable, and also Pereira.
I mean, yeah. I think Iwobi will be a little bit of a tough one considering he was at Everton for a couple of years, and Pereira was a United player. But Palinha, Robinson, I quite like Calvin Bassey at the back. I know he's been a little bit in and out, but Fulham are a good side. Fulham have caused a lot of problems over the years.
I think they go for it. They're going to go for it. I think it's going to be a really tough match. But I think Curtis is gonna he's just brilliant at the minute. So up front, I'm going for Diaz on the right, Gakpo through the middle, Nunes on the left, and then bring in Jota on again. Not too late. Depending on what's going on in the game. But I would bring Jota on a bit earlier. Take maybe Gakpo, or I'm hoping Gakpo comes into his own a bit more. I think if he's played,
he's got all the talent. He's shown us the talent. It's just we need a little bit more consistency or whatever. But I think that'll come with a bit more consistent game time.
I don't think he knows where he's playing. That's his issue. But
he's a victim of his own ability. He's so good at filling in holes. He's not really had a chance to play consistently in what we believe his best position is. I hear that point very much.
So yeah, I would go for that. I'd go for the pace. Bringing Gravenberch on, Jota on at 55, and then seeing he's still got 3 more subs. I mean, obviously we're lacking in squad depth at the minute, but I think it's a brilliant year. And I think you should keep doing your own videos, Tom, because no disrespect. I mean, there's who sounds, but yeah, I mean, it's not all about Salah. It really isn't. Salah. I've been supporting Liverpool since I was 4. It's like 42 years now. So I always knew Endo was going to come good. I knew it.
Yeah, I was one of the ones
who
had. I had the belief that he could do a job. I'll be honest, I never thought he would be this good to the point where I'm sitting there going, up against City, I'd want to start him. But I knew he'd be able to play a part because the recruitments that we've had over the years on the Jurgen Klopp has always been a high success rate. That there'll have been something there that he saw.
No, he's the modern footballer. If you look at the transfer market, it's absolutely gone off its rocker. So he's the modern footballer. He's Japanese. He's got discipline. He's humble. He's not, off his ego. He can drop into a team, do a job properly. Like, look at Son. Okay, he's again Asian culture, different cultural outlook. You're telling me that you wouldn't like Son? I mean, come on. So I'd be looking.
I would love Son. I think Son's a brilliant footballer.
I think Endo. I think these guys are the future of football. I know we need to bring in people. I think we should keep looking at people like Endo. I really do. So
I think with the success we've had with them, I hope we do. Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed.
Year for Liverpool. Even if we go out tonight, I think over this few legs, I think this year's is already a great year. So
I think we've performed a lot better than we thought we would do in terms of where we were in terms of a rebuild. And look, this will be a great chat. Absolutely fantastic chat.
One, Tom.
I appreciate the support. I just have one question. If Liverpool win the quad, are we going to get a painting of Liverpool players holding the trophy off Charlie Jones?
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about doing a... who was I looking at? Who was it? I can't remember who I was thinking about doing. About painting, yeah. I had my eye on someone. I think it was Trent. Was it Trent? No, Salah. No.
Well, if Liverpool win the quad, let's hope that we get some Liverpool style paintings of Charlie
Definitely
Jones,
going to do a Mo kind of AKA Bob Marley thing. Positive vibrations. Back to John Barnes.
That would be absolutely sensational, mate. But thank you very much for coming on.
Nice one, Tom. Keep it up. Great to meet you.
You too, mate. You too. And finally, people, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only uncle of the Liverpool YouTube scene. It is Mr. Albert here with me. How are you doing?
Tom, how you doing? Bobby Clark, how you doing, Bobby?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good.
How you doing, little Bendoke? How you doing?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. It's good to see you,
Hussam
mate.
said it. I didn't. Hussam said it, right?
Hussam, everyone's saying it. I get Conor Bradley. I get Bobby
I'm
Clark.
trying to even fit you into Endo, man. I'm trying to fit you into Endo.
the hair's nearly there, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Is that clean cut, good boy look? How are you doing, my friend?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. I'm sure you've seen some of the lineups so far, but what is your lineup for today's game?
I think, let me be very honest. I don't want Kelleher to start. I just don't. Because I think this match is the match that defines our season in terms of trophies. We don't want to go and not perform well at Anfield. Look, Fulham are a good team. We all saw what happened. But for Trent and Endo, they would have taken 3 points off us at Anfield. I don't want Kelleher to start. I think he would, but I don't. So that's just me.
So you're going Alisson in goal. Defensively, you sticking with the back four that's been the consensus of Bradley, Quansah, Van Dijk, Gomez, or are you bringing in Konate?
I will play Konate.
Okay.
I will play Konate. Listen, we need to go all in for this thing, man. We need to knock them out. We need to knock them out at Anfield. A good, healthy score at Anfield ensures that we can bring in some of the little kitty boobs, to come and hone their craft. You don't want to go to Fulham. You don't want to go to Craven Cottage having to win, having to play a match of your life to win, and then getting some injuries. Because those Fulham guys are big, strong, strapping lads, and they play a hard game. They come to play. So I would want us to go all in now, get a good, healthy 2-3 goal advantage, and then go back there and then see what happens. That would be my strategy. So I'm going with Bradley because we don't have a choice. I'm going with Konate. I'm going with Van Dijk. I'm going with Joey G. And then, of course, I'm going with Alexis. I will go with Gravenberch and Jones.
Gravenberch and Jones together. So no Harvey Elliott.
Not in the beginning. The reason why I'm saying that is two things. I want us to be able to play the double pivot if necessary. If they are coming to park the bus, we should be able to play a double pivot and push Gravenberch up the park to press and then to create fouls. Like he did against Arsenal. We need to be able to do that. Having said that, Elliott can also start. Elliott does more or less the same thing, but I think Gravenberch is bigger and stronger than Elliott and is able to deal with the physical nature of the Fulham onslaught better. So those will be my reasons. Not to say that Elliott can start. Elliott can start. He's playing very well this season. I have nothing but love for him.
Would you potentially start Elliott on the right wing then, ahead of Diaz?
Why not? Why not? I mean, we are prepared. We are more or less preparing him to play that role. I mean, I don't know why people haven't seen it, but yeah, why not? I'll play him because he played very well. He played very well in that role against West Ham. So why not?
He did.
West Ham are
he
also
was very good against West Ham. He was
very good. So why wouldn't we? I'll take him. No problem.
So then the other two attackers?
I will go with Diaz and Nunes.
Nunes up front, Diaz on the left?
Yes. Or Gakpo on the left. There's this conundrum about where is the best place to play Gakpo. Gakpo's place is on the left side of the attack. That's where we scouted him. That's where he was playing for PSV. That's where he plays for Holland. I don't know what the debate is. The best match that Gakpo has played for us was last season's match against Man United. That's where he started playing there. But I have often said, and I'll repeat this, there are too many experiments being done when Liverpool are playing. Too many experiments. We are trying to experiment where to play McAllister, experiment what to do with Trent, experiment what to do with Gakpo, experiment what to do with Nunes. Enough of that already. Let's just stick to what we know. If we're not making too many of these experiments, I bet you we are like 6-7 points ahead in the league. So yeah, let's do that. Having said that, I think that the worst thing that has happened to us this season in terms of injuries is strength. That's just really bad. I mean, that's really, really bad. And if I were FSG and Klopp, whatever plans you have to show up the defense in summer, you should bring it forward. We've done it before. We've done it several times. There's no reason not to do it now. I don't think, and take it from me, I don't think Trent's injury is a 3-week injury. They've told us there is a laceration in the lateral collateral ligament. That's a ligament tear. That doesn't take 3 weeks to fix. And if I were them, Same thing. Remember the same thing happened to Luis Diaz. They went and played him too early, and he shifted the MCL and the LCL as well. Let's not do that. Allow him the time to recuperate. That's why I go and get the LCB stroke CB that we are looking for, and then let Joey G play fullback until Trent comes back. I'm sure that can do for 4 to 6 weeks, because mark it anywhere, Trent is out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, I hear that. I mean, my idea is a lot of the players that we've been linked to and a lot of the teams that have these players, whilst they might be notoriously selling clubs, I mean, I just look at Sporting with Inacio and Diamande, Benfica with Antonio Silva, Nice with Todibo. A lot of these clubs are challenging for the title, and I just put myself in that situation. If I was that club, I wouldn't want to lose one of my best players when we're this close to a title. So I feel that it would take a big offer from the football club to do it. And this is where the age-old issue of the club doesn't believe that the player is worth what they're asking for, so they won't do it, comes in. I also think that it's very hard to replace Trent anyway. I mean, we've lost Salah, and I don't think you're always going to miss Mo Salah a little bit, but you can replace his part of his game in aggregate a lot of times with, creativity from a McAllister or an Elliott or a Nunez, and then you can get your goals from a Jota or a Gakpo or a Nunez. Whereas with Trent, I don't think we have anyone else in that squad who can do what he does. So I do understand that point, but I do believe it is just a 3-week injury. I believe it's just like a minor. It's not fully torn. Oh, Albert's internet is gone. How heartbreaking. But yeah, I mean, I'll touch on that Trent point. A lot of people have been saying it. It's just a minor tear, so it's not fully torn. I do believe it's just like a. What's the word for it? Yeah, I'll do it with a piece of paper. I do believe that instead of it going like that and coming apart, it has went something along the lines of that. So it is still pretty there. It's still there. It just needs to do that rather than reattach itself completely, sort of thing. That's what I believe has happened with it. But Albert's back now.
I'm so sorry. Somebody tried to call me as usual. When having the best time of my life, and somebody tries to call me. Sorry.
It's okay, Albert. I was just explaining that I don't believe it's a. If it was a proper full tear, I believe that it would be a lot longer than 3 weeks. But I don't believe he's fully torn it to the degree that Diaz did. So maybe that's where the 3-week thing has come from. If you had the choice, though, if you were in charge of Liverpool's recruitments, which defender would you go out and sign this window?
Inacio. Simple.
You go out and get Inacio.
Yeah. Inacio.
Do you not think that maybe you could benefit more from a right-sided defender? Because by the end of next month, you'll have Tsimikas back, Robertson back. Inacio won't really... It's going to sound horrible. Inacio won't really make Jurgen Klopp's first choice 11 because he'll go Van Dijk and Robertson. And then Inacio doesn't really like playing on the right.
I'll tell you why I go Inacio. We have a League Cup events, and history has shown us that players are going to get injured. It's not just our team. Look at the devastation that injuries have caused with everybody. Man City, Aston Villa, Spurs, Man, you name it. Everybody at some point in time has at least 6 to 7 of their starters injured. So no good player comes into a team and you say he won't get to play. Having said that, Robertson is still...
You're on mute, Albert. It's muted. Yeah, let's see. Your microphone's cut out. The microphone's cut out, Albert. We can't hear you now. Try and come back. Try and come back again. Maybe restart. That'll work. I mean, I get that point. I just think when Inacio's going to want to play a lot, he is, and he plays mainly on the left of a back three, so you'd argue left back or left centre back. In Jurgen Klopp has his clear favourites in Robertson and Van Dijk, and Inacio will obviously play, but in the games that he wants to play, Inacio's not going to be happy just playing as a fifth choice defender sort of thing, like getting cup games or stuff. I think Inacio's going to want to be a player who plays in the big moments in Champions League, in massive Champions League clashes, in cup finals, which when Van Dijk and Robertson are fit, they're both going to sit above him. But Albert, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
What I was saying was this. Our system is such that players are getting injured. You and I both know Konate is a hair's breadth away from a hamstring. You know Joey G is injury prone. You know Trent has now got this injury. We need to wrap him in mothballs. And then you see, I'll tell you what, when it comes to Robertson is 30. Now, when somebody gets a shoulder injury, the test of whether he is fit or not to play comes with contact. So you and I both know that some managers, most managers, are going to tell their midfielders and their attackers to test the shoulder. Give him a badge here and there. Let's see whether he's fit enough to play. That's what they do. So I don't think we should keep our season on hold for players who are injured, potentially injured. It takes time to come off that kind of injury and be in the kind of form that he's been in. So my thing is, look, if we have plans in the summer, we can move it forward. I don't see anything wrong with that. We've done it several times. We moved Gakpo forward. We moved Diaz forward. We moved Verge forward. We can do it again. It's not a problem.
Hopefully. I mean, I don't sit. I can understand your points. I don't sit in the same boat. I'm willing to give these players that are injured the chance to come back because I thought that Tsimikas was playing quite well before the injury. Even though I've never been his biggest fan. I thought Robertson was playing quite well before the injury. Obviously, the massive one is a different kettle of fish, but you've got the quality that Jarell Quansah's provided when he stepped up. I just, maybe it's a bit of naivety, maybe it's a bit of cautious optimism. I just feel that unless you can bring forward the target, i.e., let's say the club wants, Inacio or Diomande from Sporting, but Sporting say, no, you're not having either of them because we want to win this Portuguese title. I don't want the club to then go, okay, well, we'll go for a lad from PSV because he's cheap and he's not as good as the others, but he ticks some boxes, this, that, and the other. I just don't think that is the way to go because I don't think the situation is anywhere near as dire as it has been in previous years when we have had to bring forward those transfers. I.e., when we brought forward Verge, we had no good centre-backs.
If we were not first on the log, I would be agreeing with you. We are first. If we need to invest money to stay there, we need to invest money to stay there. I'm sure you'll be the first person to agree with me that only one championship in 8 years of Klopp going on 9th is not good enough. He's a much better manager than that. So we should give him what he needs to win the championship. This business of always waiting to hatch eggs, so to speak, I don't believe in it. If we need to go and win this thing, let's put the needed investment to win it. Those people who are coming along and if we're waiting for injured players to come along, yada, 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 it will come. Let's win first. If we win, everybody else can come along. Those we need to sell, we can sell. Another reason why I want us to move those plans forward is Matip is not coming back. You know, Joe Matip is not coming back. So he's not coming back this season. Whether the club decides to give him a sympathy extension or another contract is up to them. But this season, Joe Matip is not coming back. So we need to be on all fours with this thing. Look, another injury to our back line and we are completely screwed. We go back to Nat Phillips doing a Cruyff 10 at the Bernabeu. We don't want that. Let's also not forget that we have Europa Cup coming. And when it gets to the Europa Cup, teams like Leverkusen are not going to be taking change. We know that. So let's understand that we have stuff to do. I don't believe for one moment that we should keep hatching eggs as we go along. Let's go strong. Let's go in. Let's advance any plans. Let's get this thing over and done with. Because trust you me when I tell you, at least 3 of the 4 trophies we are looking for.
Oh, no. FSG have cut him off mid-rant, and he was making a lot of good points there. Oh. Are we... Is someone FSG have rang him? FSG have rang him. Oh no, we're back. We're back. You cut off mid rant there, Albus, but you were making a lot of good points there. Oh. No, I don't. Oh, are we there? No, I don't think it's gonna work, Albert. I think it's decided it's had enough of you. I think it's had enough of you, and you know what, Albert? I'm sure you're still on. I'm sure you'll be able to catch stream. If not, you can watch the replay. I know Albert's a big fan. If needs be, we're trying to boost up again. Are you there?
I'm here.
We're there. So I've just got one more question.
Sorry about the interruptions. I'm so sorry.
It's fine, Albert. It's fine. I know what bad Wi-Fi is like, mate. Don't worry. It's a pain in the arse. All I would say is maybe where me and you differ. I'm quite happy to trust some of these youngsters. So like Conor Bradley, he had a very good game against Arsenal. I know I was watching him a fair bit at Bolton last season when he won the Player of the Year. And I know Bolton is nowhere near the same level as Liverpool, but the only way these youngsters are going to develop, in my eyes, is by starting to play a bit more football. You have a good idea of bringing in the talent right now. My worry is if we bring in an Inacio for 50 odd million, 60 odd million, and then he's like a Fabinho and he needs time to settle in, and we don't really get to see the best out of him. I would rather just avoid doing that this season where it could damage his, morale and reputation. Trust the youngsters that we've got for the next month, i.e. Bradley and Owen Beck. These youngsters that have had very good loan spells, perform very well. And then next season, bring in these players and give them a full pre-season under Jurgen Klopp so we can try and avoid the situation where they need time to settle in, they need time to, understand the system. I don't want that to happen midway through the season, sort of thing, if you get me.
Your point is well taken, and it's a school of thought. I take that. But my thing is, I also don't think players like Inacio need that much time to blend in. He's a very good player. He's an experienced player. He comes in, bang, he's ready to go. For me, I think that the younger ones, some of them are really good. I think Lee Clark's son, Bobby, is a very, very good player. Gerard McConnell is a very good player. So is Scanlon. Bobby Clark. Bradley, excellent. The only thing with them is experience. What do you do when we are in adversity? What do they do when we are in adversity? See, that's what a player like Endo will have over them. Endo has seen a lot of things. He's unfazed at many levels. So for Endo, his problem was pace, getting up to speed and getting the pace of the league. Once he had that pace, everything was going to fall in place.
I take it you're a big Endo. I think you're a big Endo fan, Albert. You're a big fan of Endo.
Well, I wasn't until I was. That's just honest, okay? Yeah, that's the truth. I wasn't until I was. And for me, we've always been saying, okay, so we need a controller. So what do you call the guy who bosses Declan Rice, bosses Palinia, bosses Guimaraes from here to high heaven, because that day I was at Anfield, and holds his own against Rodri. That's the controller too, right? So yeah, I think Klopp knew something we didn't know, and sometimes we need to give him we need to know that he knows his job more than us. But we are still fans, so we get to talk shit. Okay, get to talk shit from time to time.
Maybe Liverpool pay Jurgen Klopp 200 grand a week for a reason, and not us. Maybe there's a slight reason behind that.
He actually earns more than that. I read an article that the German the head of the German FA said they can't afford Klopp because Klopp earns 50 million euros a year. Apparently, he has more than half his salary in guaranteed commercial income, so they can't pay him. That's why they can't get him. So
Well, yeah,
yes,
I know Jurgen Klopp's like one of the only managers in the world with a I know Adidas sponsor Jurgen Klopp, I don't think Adidas sponsor many managers. So it's a funny thing because obviously Liverpool's sponsored by Nike. Jurgen Klopp has to wear a Nike cap, a Nike top, Nike pants, and an Adidas shoes.
Adidas shoe. Yeah, I've seen that. So for every now and then, but he himself admits also that he makes mistakes. So hey, we are fans. The reason why we trudge to Anfield to go and watch them is because we're a little crazy up there. So we are allowed to talk shit, and sometimes we are wrong. Well, many of the times we are wrong. But hey, who gives an F? We are who we are. We are Liverpool. So
That's what life support in Liverpool is like, though, Albert. And I wouldn't change it for the world.
That's what supporting Liverpool. There's nothing like arriving at Anfield on a really cold, wet night, getting in your stands and seeing the action. When you finish, you are wet again. You go all the way home. That's being Liverpool, man.
You walk to the stadium, you're miserable, you soak, you freeze,
You
and
know?
then you leave. It's still cold, it's still soaking, it's still snowing, and you couldn't be happier. You're warm, you're buzzing. That's what it's about.
You know, bro. That's being Liverpool, man. That's being Liverpool. Last Monday, I was at Anfield with my son, and that was his first time. He was so excited. He was so excited to be there, and we ground Newcastle to a halt. I mean,
we were
the
absolutely
Newcastle
brilliant that day.
The Newcastle players couldn't get off the pitch at full time. That's Liverpool. That's supporting Liverpool.
I don't think your son could have got many better first games, because I think if you were to put me on the spot and ask me for our best performance of the season, I would say it was Newcastle.
Yeah.
Just in terms of how good we were from minute. Obviously, we'd like to score more, but that's just sort of been an issue with Liverpool in general this season.
I mean, what else could you give to see Núñez missing 8 sitters?
7.5 XG, the most XG ever created by a Premier League team, and we only scored 4 goals. It's just Liverpool, though, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, we won't change anything for the world. Yeah,
but Albert,
that's my boy. Say hi to Uncle Tom.
Hello, mate. You're a very lucky boy. You got to watch Liverpool score lots of goals against Newcastle.
Yes.
Well, who's your favourite player?
To be honest, you'll be shocked if I say this, but I will have to say Dominic Szoboszlai.
Oh, you know what? I'm a big fan of Szoboszlai as well. I've been very much happy with his performances since he joined.
Me too. I've been actually very happy with his performances.
And it's nice to see someone not desecrating the number 8 like I said Naby Keita did. He's living up to the number 8.
I told you guys long ago that Naby was 40 years old. You didn't believe me, man. I told you Naby was 40 years old, man. I told you guys Naby was 40 years old. That's the problem. He's 40. And he went to his new team. He went to injure himself. He's only played 15 minutes for Werder Bremen.
They don't even like him over there now, do they? They don't like him over there.
They want to ship him. They want to ship him back to Guinea, man. Now they're beginning to question his age. He's old, man. He's old.
Albert, you are an absolute laugh every single time, and I will 100% get you on more shows in the future, because me and you, it's just always so funny. I appreciate you coming on, mate.
Just let me know, Tom. I'm always available.
No worries. And you did win the poll. People prefer your team to mine, so get Uncle Albert managing Liverpool. That should be the hashtag.
You know what? If I'm manager of Liverpool, I'll go and take advice from Todd Bowley. I'm spending 1 billion and we are winning.
Yes, Albert, mate. Quality. Well, thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Uncle Albert is absolutely brilliant. I love Albert. Albert is absolutely hilarious. But people, I'm going to call it there. What was supposed to be a 30-minute stream has went on for an hour and 34, and I've loved every minute of it. The support has been absolutely immense throughout. Big ups to Sam for the raid, and big ups to a lot of you for sticking around. If you're new, you're not already, make sure you hit that like button, you're hitting that subscribe button, you're turning on that notification bell so you don't miss any more content. I am going to be going live after the game today, midnight, with my review. I'll see if I can get Mike on for that, because I like getting Mike on for the reviews. We get through a lot of tactical talk, which even though I'm a little bit of a tactical merchant. I do like to talk tactics. I'll try and stream as well, either Thursday or Friday. I'm going to be out one of those days, so I don't know which one it'll be exactly, but I'll try and get a stream Thursday or Friday. And yeah, I'm going to be more consistent. I've promised. I'm going to be more consistent now. People, the support means a lot to me. The comments, the chat, it's always great. I appreciate it very much. Big ups to Kenneth the Zeng. Let's try and pronounce this right. Kenneth the Zengedze for the super chat earlier on. Thank you for the support, mate. I will do my best at right back tonight. I will do my best at right back. And if I'm brought on in centre mid or wherever other Tom Littles on the bench are, I'll do my best there. But I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you people in a bit. Ta-ra.